Okay, we're going to talk about these things. Like it says 19 things you might not know were invented by women. We're going to go through this list and see how many are true. I'm going to say that most of it's fake news. Chances are 3 or 4 of them are going to be true and the rest of them won't be. And I've already gone through the list, so I already know what all the answers are. Okay, first one. You see a bunch of paper bags. It says the paper bag. Margaret Knight. Guess what? She was not the first one to invent the paper bag. And this is how you know. You go over here, you do search Google, you go over here, you do wiki, paper bag, you go to Wikipedia. Let's see if Margaret Knight was the first one to invent the paper bag. No, she wasn't. Francis Wolff was the first one to invent the paper bag 20 years earlier. Kevlar, look at what it says over here, accidentally invented. Sorry, doesn't count. This one, it's hard, you know, it's a trash can. There's no such thing as the history of the trash can. So it's hard to verify this particular one. So I couldn't find really that much information, and I'm going to say that she deserves to be the inventor for this. So this is going to be the first one. Monopoly, nope, sorry. You see, it says Elizabeth Magee, Monopoly. It's invented Monopoly. She did not invent Monopoly. She invented the landlord's game. And over here it says a man named Charles Darrow invented Monopoly. That's a man. Sorry, doesn't count. Windshield wipers, I already know, was not invented by Mary Anderson. We'll look up windshield wipers. This was actually invented by a Polish guy. And it's going to be right here on Wikipedia. You go over here, look for history, Polish concert pianist Joseph. There he is. And Mills, let's look at this guy. I'm guessing this is a guy. I don't know. It says it here. He was an inventor, and it says, sir, he's a man. So windshield wipers, also not true. I'll show you where she shows up on the list. She shows up here, and it says 3 at around the same time, and it mentions a man and a man. So she's not the first person to invent the windshield wiper. Disposable diapers, this one unfortunately is also not true. Marion Donovan was not the first person to invent disposable diapers. And not only that, the diaper that she invented was not really disposable. She used a shower curtain. Does that sound to you like a disposable diaper? Okay, so we're going to look at history. Okay, here's where it talks about Mary Donovan used a shower curtain. But look what it says over here. Over here it says Hugo. Okay, but Hugo's doesn't matter because it's not really a diaper, but it's a precursor to a disposable diaper. But we've got this 1930s destroyable baby napkins. So she wasn't the first. The dishwasher. Dishwasher, look for history. First by Joel Houghton, 1850. What does hers say? 1886. Hers was 36 years later. Okay. Says the most successful, not the first. Over here, okay, so not true. Okay, now we've got liquid paper. What this is a brand name. Okay? It's called correctional fluid. She was not the first person to invent correctional fluid. However, what is correctional fluid? It's white paint. This is essentially white paint. It says it right here. She invented white paint, okay? So she invented the brand and the product, and she made lots of money, but it's paint. And it's correctional fluid, and she's not the first person to invent correctional fluid. It predated her. I don't think I'm going to call her an inventor. Alphabet blocks, nope, sorry, not true. 1882, sorry. Alphabet blocks were invented, were first documented by John Locke. And not only that, there were other people before this woman. I don't think I found it on Wikipedia, so you know what, I'm going to look up Locke. Okay, see? And there was another guy. Okay, let's just go back here because it says it right here. Alphabet blocks as early as 1693 when philosopher John Locke pointed out that dice and playthings with the letters on them to teach children. So it was 1693 over here. She is 1882, 200 years later. And there was another guy. So she wasn't the first person. You can read about it on your own. She didn't invent it. The APGAR score is not really an invention. It's a score, which is a test that you give someone. I do not count that. Oh, you know what? For some reason, I skipped this one. So we're going to look up signal flares. You know what? Just to be safe, we're going to do marine signal flares. She invented the color orange. What does it say? She didn't come up with the signal flares all by herself. Sorry, you don't get shit. Circular saw, this is another no. It says Tabitha Babbitt. It's going to be easy one to disprove. So just so you know, right now the count is 1. Got 1 out of 12. Circular saw, history. So you got to, this one, first one I think doesn't really count because doesn't really give enough information. Then we got this guy over here. Now, just so you know, Babbitt is down here. So we've got this Taylor, built a sawmill. Description shows that he had circular saws in the 1790s. Hers was 30 years later. Sorry, no dice. Retractable dog leash. I looked this one, and I believe she actually. Okay, there's no such thing as a Wikipedia page with retractable dog leash. It just doesn't exist. There is the history of the dog leash. It goes back to Egyptian times. So she was the only reference I found. So I'm going to give her credit too. Submarine telescope and lamp. She took a telescope and put a lamp on it. Not an invention, sorry. Folding cabinet bed. Not a folding bed, but she made a folding bed in the shape of a cabinet. I mean, who cares? I don't know if I would call that an invention. It's an improvement on another invention. I mean, who cares? I'll show you what it looks like. It's going to look like a cabinet. This is it right here. It's a cabinet it's a bed that folds into a cabinet. So basically what she did was she made it foldable, but it's got a little table where you could put a flat surface on it. I don't know if I would. Well, let's look up folding bed and see the history of the folding bed. She improved upon, I don't know. I don't think this is going to count. I don't think that she invented the first folding bed. A folding bed, 1899. That's what she did, 1885. So it was around the same time his was a bed. A folding camp cot. Folding beds appear in the famous ancient Greek vase paintings. Folding beds, 12th century. So she did not invent the folding bed. She just invented one that had a flat writing surface at the top. I'm going to say, you know what? No. Sorry. Solar house, sorry, you lose this one. The scientist invented no, she didn't. She did not. We're going to look up solar house. Okay? This is 1947. Guess what? Not only is she not the first person to invent, but it was the sixth house that organization had developed. Okay, it's going to be down at the bottom. We're going to go to list of solar houses. Pioneering solar building. So this isn't the complete list, but you see how this says MIT solar house number 1, and this one says MIT solar house number 6. This is the one that she was involved with. 1948. It says 1947. That was her house. Or actually, you know what? She could have been in this one in 1940s. No, she was Dover Sun House. See, it says over here, Dover. It says it right here. So hers was the 6-1, Eleanor Raymond. Okay, so it doesn't say Eleanor Raymond. It has a different name. And Maria Telkis. So she was the 6-1 for MIT. She did not invent it. But over here it says thermoelectric power generator. So let's see if she invented the thermoelectric power generator. History. 1821, sorry. 1947. 1834, this was also before her. That's another one that's just not true. Scotchgard, this and spilled. She didn't invent anything. She spilled it on the floor and it wouldn't come off. Come on, that's not an invention. Invisible glass, this is not an invention. What she did was she coated glass, and glass is already invisible. Computers, this one, no, sorry, not true. Oh, actually, no, I'm confusing this with something else. Let's look at the first computer. I did not research this one. I confused it with something different. So look up computer. We're gonna, and we know it's gonna say the abacus, but we're gonna skip the abacus. We're gonna go to computing device. We got Babbage, analog. It's electromechanical. 1938. Hers is 1944, so already she's not the first computer. Let's see where she shows up. Hers was 1944, the Mark. The Mark 1. Over here it says Colossus was the world's first, and over here it says Mark 1. It used a large number of valves. It had paper tape input. Was not Turing complete. 9 Mark II Colossi were built. Colossus Mark I contained 1,500. So Colossus Mark I might be the first one. Who developed the Colossus? Tommy Flowers. Is that a woman? Colossus computer. Developed by British code breakers. Designed by Tommy Flowers. Now let's see where this woman shows up. She and Howard Aiken, it says. And it says Harvard. But over here, it's not Harvard. So, you know, this is confusing. And it says 1944. And his says 1943. So you see, there's something weird going on here. There's something that's not factual about this. So let's look up Grace Hopper. Grace Hopper. Let's see what the facts are. No. No, she did not. Grace Hopper did not. This was the COBOL woman. One of the first programmers invented a compiler-related tool. Why doesn't it say that she invented the first computer? And look at this. She began her career in 44 when she worked on the team led by, she wasn't even a team leader, okay? And she was on a team. Being a member of team, and she's a programmer. She didn't invent the computer itself. Sorry, she did not invent this device. So did I say 2 out of the total? I believe it was 2 out of 19 were factual. The other 17 misleading or not true.